This is IBM Museum. And I'm wanting to show some of the items I'm set up here in the studio. I'm going to get off the internal webcam, get turned around, and get in view of my camcorder. And so I featured this monitor that's in the background, not an IBM, in my videos. And it is actually a real fabulous flat panel display. It goes through and does 1600 by 1200. And my intent was, if I have a system here that I'm not otherwise capturing through my ClearClick, the VGA output, that I could have, web pages or whatever the case may be back there on this display. Even that desktop with just the IBM Museum that you're not, of course, seeing right now. And that is actually run from this little Think Center unit. Kind of little handy unit, does the job running Windows 10. And it does have the capability, of course, as most modern systems, for a second display. I'm using the DisplayPort output, actually going through HDMI conversion, which is easy to do, snakes all the way around the studio here, and is plugged into the DVI input of this monitor. And so what I wanted to do was, when I'm facing the camera, just like this, I wanted to be able to look over and be able to control what was on that display ahead of me. Just have the mechanism to where I could bring up a web page or something else, could actually work with that unit. So I went through and I tried some other displays. I had to try and match the resolution, because this would default to a lower resolution if I did not have another 1600 by 1200 panel. And so I did find a board on AliExpress that goes through and converts over a Toshiba panel that was in, a Toshiba laptop for the 1600 by 1200 resolution. And so I went through and ordered it. Once it came in, I then went through and got the panel off of eBay. And so I've got probably $60, $70 USD involved in this. I was just amazed on how the AliExpress has the board that, with the inputs, even has an HDMI input, composite inputs. And so I'll get enough use out of this display as it sits in front of me eventually when I mount it. I'm just showing here on the actual panel that or the box that the panel came in. And it did come in with the remote as well. We'll actually get this fired up here. And so I do have a wireless keyboard and mouse that I normally would have at my desktop, but the point is I could have it anywhere. I could move them around to go through and come up with the control to this display. Okay, and it's very hard to see with the aspect ratio here, or the viewing angle of how this lower display is doing. I want to be very careful. I just had this laying out on cardboard. I have my the inverter, which is high voltage, actually connected up on the corner as well. And so it's kind of a little neat little setup. Once I get it mounted, I'll have to come up with just some housing or some way that I'm going to go through and have it up there to I can kind of glance off the side. But it's got the remote control, the cabling here coming down. These switches are actually labeled. Um, I don't know if it's something it's off or I just don't get the control otherwise. But the standard functions, the power, bringing up which input you want to use, and the volume and things like that on there. But I figured for that anyway, it's more handy just to use the remote, and it is rather, for the economy of these devices, it is a relatively good remote that they've included with this. And so I just will have the ability. And, right now, as you may have seen just glancing over, since they are the same resolution, I do have them duplicated so I could be up at my desk going through and running the mouse and keyboard on that, just glancing off the side, whereas all that information is displayed behind me on the bench. So just another aspect of what I'm putting in here, one of the little details to the studio of how I plan things, how I try and have things set up to do the best possible way. And that's even without my editing of any of the video content. People notice that all the stumbles and stammers and pauses in my videos just because I don't go through and edit that stuff out. But I like to have my studio set up otherwise for the way that I can go through and work with it very easily. So if you enjoyed that video, click on the like button. And as always, subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. More videos coming up. But that's all I have for now. This is IBM Museum. Thank you.